So this is a big one. Valve has just pushed a new Steam Deck client update to the preview and beta channels, and it includes something a lot of us have been asking for a long time. Steam is now collecting anonymized framerate data from SteamOS devices. They've also added the option to attach hardware specs when writing or updating a Steam user review on a game store page, and honestly, this is huge and it's super cool. This could completely change how the Steam Deck compatibility works going forward. And without further ado, let's break it all down. So here's what the update includes. First, when writing or updating a Steam review, you can now attach your hardware specs. And second, and this is the headline, there is an option to provide anonymized framerate data. When enabled, Steam will collect gameplay FPS data. It's not tied to your Steam account, but it is tagged to the type of hardware you're using, for example, the Steam Deck. So if you want to enable gathering of this data, all you have to do is go to Settings and then scroll all the way down to Store. And here you can go to Steam Deck Feedback. You can click on Manage. This will take you to the store. And then you have to go to Data and Browsing, click on that and scroll down, and then you can go to the data collection, and on Ask Me for Feedback you can click on and Anonymous Game Frame Rate Data you can click on as well. Right now this is focused on SteamOS devices, so yes, this is very clearly Steam Deck driven, but it will also be very useful for all types of hardware when enabled on all devices. Let's start with the hardware specs in reviews. This is something Steam reviewers have needed forever, because reviews without context can be borderline useless. Like when someone says, it runs great, or it's unplayable. Okay, but on like what hardware? Was it on Steam Deck? Was it a 4090 desktop or a 5-year-old laptop? Now, up until now, on the reviews page, you could see if somebody has primarily played this on Steam Deck, but that's just it, didn't tell you more than that. Now, at least in theory, Steam reviews can start carrying a bit more weight because you can see the system behind the opinion. And for Steam Deck users specifically, that matters a ton because Steam Deck performance is its own category. I've been leaving reviews all throughout 2025 on games I've checked on the Steam Deck, and they're always performance and deck focused, and some of these reviews have helped a ton of people, like for example this one for Expedition 33, where I pretty much shared my best settings, and a lot of people have enjoyed the game using these settings. Now that I'm also able to attach hardware specs, it's even more detailed, and that can be done for both Steam Deck and for any other system, so it's not just tied to the Steam Deck, it could help pretty much everybody struggling with performance. This could also help cut down on review confusion, where a game is fine on desktop but rough on the deck, and the review section becomes a mess of mixed experiences. So I think this is fantastic. Now on to the big news. Now let's be honest, I have been hating on the verified program for a while now. Every couple of months we get a huge game that's verified that shouldn't be. It doesn't hold 30 FPS, or it looks awful at the lowest settings with FSR set to ultra performance, or it stutters. The verified program is a pretty good indicator of whether a game will launch and it will have controller support, but nothing about its performance. For years now, if you wanted to see real performance from the Steam Deck, you had to go outside of Steam, so you would either have to look at YouTube reviews. Thanks, by the way, for all the views on my YouTube reviews. You would check ProtonDB, Reddit threads, community spreadsheets. There would be a lot of places where you can do that, but you would have to do your due diligence before you buy a game. Steam itself never showed you actual performance expectations. Now imagine this working in the long term. You open the store page and see something like average 45 to 60 FPS on Steam Deck, OLED at medium settings, and battery life is this and this, etc, etc. So this changes buying confidence completely if you see it official on the actual store page, and this is the first real step towards this becoming a possibility, and I really think the verified program needs this, especially right now. There's another smart change here. When you disagree with the deck verified rating, Steam will now ask you why. You can choose from several options, but you can't write free text. I guess this helps with categorizing it, and nobody's going to read your novel on why this doesn't run great specifically for you. Now, providing a reason is optional, but I highly encourage you to provide a reason. I think this is huge for data quality. Before that, somebody could just hit no and move on. Now Valve can actually gather structured feedback. That will make the verified system smarter over time, and I'm really glad that it now factors in community feedback. I think, frankly, it really needs that, and I love this. I'm all for it. I've been advocating for performance transparency inside Steam for a long time. A lot of us have, And this is honestly just great. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm pretty excited about this. The deck is powerful, but it's also very performance sensitive, and a game running at 60 FPS feels amazing. A lot of games running at 30 FPS feel amazing, but none feel amazing at 20 FPS or stuttering or looking like garbage. A game dipping below 20s, that's a completely different experience. And the recent situation with Borderlands 4 getting verified, I think that probably pushed this into focus. This was probably in development, but Valve decided to just push it up and release it. And when high-profile titles get a verified badge and the real-world performance doesn't match expectations, people notice. Trust in the badge matters. Valve knows that, and this update feels like them saying, okay, let's start using real-world data, let's collect community feedback, and that's the right move. This is honestly great. Now, beyond the headline features, there are some solid fixes in this SteamOS beta update. They fixed an issue where UI focus could rapidly gain and lose selection, which sometimes ignored gamepad inputs. They also fixed an issue preventing some large libraries from installing certain games. And keyboard theme now applies correctly in offline mode. This is actually pretty huge too. This has been an issue for 4 years, ever since I got my LCD. Your keyboard selection was always tied to your account, and if you launch the deck in offline mode or it launches with that Wi-Fi issue that you're not connected, it will revert to the default layout. Now it works correctly. Another fix is game mode footer flicker has been fixed, and there should now be higher resolution capsule in the recent games carousel. Honestly, this SteamOS update is amazing. There's also an update to Steam families, by the way. It's got layout and navigation improvements across desktop, deck, and mobile as well. So Valve is clearly thinking ecosystem-wide now. SteamOS, desktop, mobile, families, they're aligning everything. Right now this update is optional, it's in beta and it's mostly behind the scenes, but I highly suggest that you opt in for that anonymous FPS data and help improve this for everyone on the community. This would fundamentally change how people buy games for the Steam Deck. No more guessing, no more watching YouTube. Wait, that's actually bad for me and for some wizards around the world. You could still watch YouTube videos though. No more guessing, no more digging through forums, checking out ProtonDB, just real world data, and that's powerful. So yeah, this isn't a flashy update, but strategically, I think it's one of the smartest deck-focused updates that we've seen in a while. More transparency, better data, smarter verified system, and honestly, it's about time. We have over 25,000 games in the verified and playable state, and they deserve better. If you're in the preview or beta channel, you can now try this. I'll be keeping an eye on how this develops, especially if Valve starts showing aggregated performance publicly, because if that happens, Steam Deck compatibility in the Steam Deck verified program just leveled up a lot. So let me know what you think about this update. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, consider leaving a like and sharing your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.